First of all, massive respect for you being a veteran and everything, keeping the country safe and defending us. And I've always had massive respect for people that are really going to put themselves in harm's way. When were you in the military? What years? How long?
Yeah, so I joined in September of 2006, and then I got medically discharged after getting injured in Afghanistan, March of 2013.
How'd you get injured?
So I was on my third tour. I was in the Paktika province, and May 3rd, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was working out in the gym, and a rocket impacted about 3.5 feet from me. And from the grace of God, I survived. I blacked out. I got thrown to the ground. It was kind of like what you'd see in a movie. It was two Blackhawks flew in. They picked me up. They carried two medics. They came into the door, and they carried me out of the burning building. And it was pitch black. So it was FOB, so a really, really small base. It was about the size of 2 football fields for perspective. And we were right on the Pakistan border. So you've got mountain ranges all the way around us. Think of it like a horseshoe, and we're down in the base.
It reminds you of this movie I just saw, Outpost. Did you see this?
I haven't. No.
It's on Apple TV. It's like one of the top movies right now with Clint Eastwood's son, and it's about this barracks like in the really dangerous part of Afghanistan. It's like in the base of a mountain, surrounded by the enemy. Is that really what it was like?
It may have been my base. Who knows? It was called Bob Boris. It was dangerous enough where they shut down the base. So.
It must be the same thing. It's because it's like exactly like what it's crazy. I mean, they're sitting there it's like sniper fire. Like at any given moment, like they're running for their lives. Is that what you really lived through?
Yeah. So it was. So they have fighting seasons essentially. So a lot of the Taliban flock over to Pakistan, and because we were right on that border, fighting season comes early for me, or at least for where we were in that province. And
define fighting season? What's fighting season?
So great question. So fighting season is like anything that's not in winter, because the winters there in Afghanistan are extremely cold, like impassable mountains. So to get from one base to another, we always had to take a helicopter. And so we never when I was in Iraq, we would always take convoys anywhere we wanted to go. So I'd go from Basra up to Talil, up to Baghdad, up MSR Tampa. And then in Afghanistan, it was completely different because of the terrain. And so for us, we were always having to get picked up by Blackhawks because of all the mountains. So the same thing in like fighting seasons, the Taliban, they can't pass because it's impassable. Like it's ice, snow, and it's, 2, 3, 4 feet just packed in at certain areas in Afghanistan. So when it hit spring, it's just about every day we were getting mortared or rocketed. And then we had our base got overran twice while I was there. So that's Taliban on our side of the wire. So that's like the size of 2 football. I mean, it was really, really small. We had about 80 people on the entire base.
Why were you there? What was the purpose of you being there?
So we were artillery base, call for fire for 5 other support bases. And then we also had a platoon of infantry.
So what was your specialty in the armed forces? Were you Army, Navy, Marine? What was your...
Yeah, so I was a military police staff sergeant, but I was cross-trained into a couple of different job skills. So.
All right, so wow, I mean, really, I'm glad that you're home and glad that you're safe, and everyone owes you a debt for that, for sure. Do you feel like you accomplished anything that made it all make sense down there? Do you feel like you were doing something that was... that actually, I guess there's like, when I watch some of these movies and, you can't believe what you see. Listen, I know I had a movie made about me, but right. So like sometimes it makes it seem like the soldiers are there for no good reason. Is that true? Or is there usually a reason why the soldiers are there and that's just not an accurate portrayal? Or is it true?
Just from my perspective, Iraq, I felt like we did some good. Afghanistan, I really didn't have a clue. Iraq, for instance, with what we were doing with my battalion, we were training other Iraqi police. So that was kind of our overall mission, was just what they call pit style training. So police transition training. So we were training their Iraqi police officers. So some of their higher commission officers in the Iraqi police forces, and training them on different, correct policing. I guess. So
Got it. Yeah, yeah, sure. So I guess
in
in that case, you
Afghanistan,
feel
I
like
really don't know.
you're leaving something good behind in a sense that you're leaving some knowledge behind and be a police force that could do their job in a way that would be, I guess, effective but compassionate, not overly violent, right? And not without, unnecessary loss of life or harshness. But in Afghanistan, you didn't feel that way. You felt like, what are we doing here, right? I mean, it's like, right? I guess that's, how do you make sense of that? I mean, I guess you're conditioned to follow orders. You don't ask why. Is that just the chain of command? And mine is not to ask why, but to do or die, basically. Right?
That's essentially it. For me, I never felt like fulfilled, but I will say this, like I volunteered for all tours. I was one of those kind of daredevils. I loved adventure. I do better under pressure, and, starting my business, I thrive under those very, very tight KPIs, hold myself accountable, and was always looking for kind of, I guess, adventure in general. Both of my grandparents served. My brother, he served, he was a captain in the Army. And I enjoyed serving. So yeah.